But I've also noticed a lot of what you're saying really comes back to emotional intelligence. I feel like that's a theme that's been just kind of in the undercurrent the whole conversation. I know you've done a lot of research in that area. So I would love to hear just a little bit of insight about how increasing your EQ does tie into having better marketing.
So then when I ran Daniel Goleman's seminal book on emotional intelligence, I was excited because it basically told me you don't have to have the highest IQ because IQ never changes. You're born with it. You just have to work on 21 characteristics that establishes your EQ. So IQ and EQ are like equivalent is the way they score you, but one is right brain, one's left brain. You get your logic and your reasoning, which is your IQ, which is your science, math, reading, and then you have your EQ. And even though there's 21 characteristics, there's 4 different buckets for those dimensions. Intrapersonal skills is the first one. So that's your self-awareness. So if you're self-aware internally and externally, and this goes for your marketing too, especially, you need to know your biases. You need to know what directs your decision making. You need to know everybody's opinion in the room and how they feel about whatever that marketing campaign is. Because if you don't, you're missing out. Then there's the intrapersonal. That's your social ability. That's your ability to take social responsibility for the decisions you make, the emotions you do, the ability to thrive. And do you have empathy? That is the number one characteristic. I'm not talking about being a bleeding heart because a lot of times you say empathy, oh, that won't bring bottom line. No, empathy is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Will that brand outlast you? Should be the question. If you're not putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and you're not doing the self reflection to find out about your biases and everything else, you are probably going to create a message that's based on your opinions, your ego, your transactions, and you've not thought about what somebody else is thinking about. It could have biases against women. It could have biases against a certain department that, like budgeting or accounting. It could have all of these implications that you haven't even thought about. The third one is stress management. You have to be able to fare the water. Like I had a CEO that had a high emotional intelligence, but the 2 characteristics that he had a terrible score on was stress tolerance and impulse control. So every happy event, he was gone. And every stressful event, he was hiding underneath his desk away from everybody so he wouldn't have to address it. So you have to be able to control those emotions and be part of that to be able to have a message that outlives you also. And then the last one is general mood. What mood do you have? Do you project happiness? Do you project darkness? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? What is that message that's out there? So the model of emotional intelligence not only is an individual model because you want to build these characteristics for yourself, but it's also a model for your organization and your teams. And if you can create it, you create a synergy based on the total EQ model of performance. And that means everybody is part of the model itself.